The 2014 Major League Soccer season is the 102nd season of FIFA-sanctioned soccer in the United States and Canada, the 36th with the National First Division League, and the 19th season of Major League Soccer. This season features 19 total clubs. The 2014 regular season started on March 8 with Sporting Kansas City, the defending MLS Cup champion, playing at the Seattle Sounders FC. The 2014 Major League Soccer All-Star Game will be held in Providence Park in Portland, Oregon and will feature a team of MLS All-Stars against Bayern Munich, the Bundesliga champions for the past two seasons. Teams, stadiums, and personnel, stadiums and locations. Personnel and sponsorship. On October 29, 2013, Real Salt Lake announced a 10-year contract with LifeVantage to become their jersey sponsor effective January 1, 2014. They replaced XonGo, which had been their sponsor since the 2006 season. On February 10, 2014, Portland Timbers announced a partnership with Providence Health and Services to rename their stadium to Providence Park, which had been called JLD Field since 2011. On February 24, 2014, DC United announced a multi-year jersey sponsorship with Lidos. On May 1, 2014, Colorado Rapids announced a multi-year jersey sponsorship with Chow Telecom. Note: all teams use Adidas as kit manufacturer. Player transfers. Major League Soccer employs no fewer than 12 methods to acquire players. These mechanisms are the following: via allocation, via the designated player rule, via the annual super draft, via trade, placing a discovery claim, via the homegrown player rule, via the annual re-entry draft, via the annual waiver draft, through weighted lottery, through an extreme hardship call-up, by replacing a player who has been placed on the season-ending injury list, by replacing a player who has been placed on the disabled list. Allocation ranking. The allocation ranking is the mechanism used to determine which MLS club has first priority to acquire a U.S. national team player who signs with MLS after playing abroad, or a former MLS player who returns to the league after having gone to a club abroad for a transfer fee. The allocation rankings may also be used in the event two or more clubs file a request for the same player on the same day. The allocations will be ranked in reverse order of finish for the 2013 season, taking playoff performance into account. Once the club uses its allocation ranking to acquire a player, it drops to the bottom of the list. A ranking can be traded, provided that part of the compensation received in return is another club unregistered trademark S ranking. At all times, each club is assigned one ranking. The rankings reset at the end of each MLS League season. DC United traded the No. A1 ranking, along with Ethan White, to Philadelphia for Jeff Park and the No. A6 ranking, on January 14, 2014. Chivas USA traded the No. A2 ranking to Seattle Sounders FC in the Mauro Rosales trade on December 11, 2013. It was also reported that Seattle sent the No. A13 allocation ranking to Chivas USA as part of the deal. Managerial changes, ownership changes, rule changes. The rules for the 2014 season are largely identical as those in 2013, with one major exception. For the first time in league history, the away goals rule will be used in two-legged MLS Cup playoff matches. MLS will use the version of the rule employed in CONCACAF competitions, which is applied only at the end of regular time of the second leg and not after extra time. MLS has also tweaked the tiebreaker rules for the league standings. The first tiebreaker remains total wins, but the second and third tiebreakers have been swapped. Goal difference is now second and goals scored is third. All other tiebreakers remain the same as in 2013. More minor changes include the following: the so-called special discovery signing has been standardized. Under this provision, each team is allowed to amortize the total acquisition costs for one player, including the transfer fee, over the length of his contract without making him a designated player. Regulations for loans between MLS teams have been formalized. Each team may loan out one player per season to another league team, with the loan deal being finalized no later than the close of the primary transfer window. The player must be no older than 24 at the time of the loan, must stay on the receiving team's roster for the entire season, and cannot play against the team that loaned him out. Deals may include an option to buy. Players who have trained for at least 1 year in a team's youth system, and have trained for at least 80 days with the team's academy in that year, may be signed to a first professional contract without being subject to the MLS Superdraft. The salary cap for 2014 has also been adjusted upward. The team salary cap, which as in previous years covers the first 20 of the 30 available roster spots, has increased to $3.1 million. The cap charge for a designated player is now $387,500, up from $368,750 last season. Mid-season designated player signings carry a cap charge of $193,750. The minimum salaries for off-budget players have also increased from last season. Standings, conference tables, Eastern Conference, updated to matches played on July 12, 2014. 0040, PDT, source, MSSoccer.com, E1, equals Eastern Conference champion. Equals Eastern Conference runner-up. Equals Eastern Conference third seed. Equals qualifies for playoffs via wild card. Only applicable when the season is not finished. Q, equals qualified for the MLS Cup playoffs, but not yet to the particular round indicated. Equals eliminated from playoff contention. Western Conference, updated to matches played on July 12, 2014. 0047, PDT, source, MSSoccer.com, W1, equals Western Conference champion. Equals Western Conference runner-up. Equals Western Conference third seed. Equals qualifies for playoffs via wild card. Only applicable when the season is not finished. Q, equals qualified for the MLS Cup playoffs, but not yet to the particular round indicated. Equals eliminated from playoff contention. Overall table, note. The table below has no impact on playoff qualification and is used solely for determining host of the MLS Cup, certain CCL spots, the Supporters' Shield Trophy, seeding in the 2014 Canadian Championship, and 2014 MLS Draft. The conference tables are the sole determinant for teams qualifying for the playoffs. As of June 8, 2014, 11:30 p.m., PDT source, MSSoccer.com, SS. Equals MLS Supporters Shield 1. The highest-ranked US-based MLS club qualifies to the 2015 Euro 16 CONCACAF Champions League seeding Pot A. The other US representatives in the 2015 Euro 16 CONCACAF Champions League are, winner of the 2014 MLS Cup, regular season conference winner that is not the Supporters Shield champion. 2, winner of the 2014 Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. 3 for this season only, the highest-placed Canadian team will be awarded Canada's place in the 2015 Euro 16 CONCACAF Champions League, as a result of the rescheduling of the Canadian Championship in 2015. Tie-breaking, the teams are awarded 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie and 0 points for a loss. If teams have an equal number of points, the following tie-breaking procedures apply. The second and third tiebreakers, goal differential and goals scored, have swapped places from the 2013 season. Most wins, goal differential, goals for, fewest disciplinary points, 5 points, straight red card, 6 points, disciplinary committee suspension, 6 points, road goals, road goal differential, home goals, home goal differential, coin toss or drawing of lots, statistical leaders, full article, MLS Golden Boot. Top goalkeepers, minimum 1,000 minutes played, source, individual awards, monthly awards. Weekly awards, scoring, first goal of the season, Chad Barrett for Seattle Sounders FC against Sporting Kansas City, 94 minutes, fastest goal of the season, Javier Morales for Real Salt Lake against Houston Dynamo, 16 seconds, hat-tricks of the season, Clint Dempsey for Seattle Sounders FC against Portland Timbers, Bradley Wright Phillips for New York Red Bulls against Houston Dynamo, Harrison Shipe for Chicago Fire against New York Red Bulls, Bradley Wright Phillips for New York Red Bulls against Chicago Fire, Luis Silva for DC United against Montreal Impact. Discipline, first yellow card of the season, or a copyright Leon Collin for Sporting Kansas City against Seattle Sounders FC, 16 minutes, first red card of the season, Patrick Nyarko for Chicago Fire against Portland Timbers, 86 minutes, notes. References. External links, official website.